Yes, it's moving. Wow, we are live. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone from all over the world. I'm so excited, so happy, and so grateful today that I can invite Debra from Alberta, Canada, but now residing in Mexico, right, to be
Yes.
our very special guest speaker in my page today. If you might know me, when I first joined the community, Debra is, I know that Debra is a legend in our communities because she's so successful. So you all know that running the business, sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but whenever I feel some doubt, I will look at Debra and say that, wow, she can do it. Why not me? Come on, I
Okay.
will follow. So today, you know that well, that's why I'm so excited, very happy, and very grateful to have Debra here. So Debra, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. And thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah, you are now living in Mexico, right?
I am. I'm in Playa del Carmen, Mexico.
Ah, I see. Do you see a lot of differences between Canada and Mexico?
Oh, big, huge difference. But right now, they're having a real heat wave. They have it hotter in Canada than it has ever been in history. So it's a really dangerous heat they're having in Canada. It's actually hotter in Canada right now than
Oh.
from where I'm from than what it is here in Mexico.
And how about the COVID situation over there? Everything is all right now?
It's the same as everywhere in the world. There's been, thousands and thousands of cases of COVID, and people have passed away from COVID. The same, here in Mexico as in Canada. People are going and getting the vaccine, and it's the same all over the world.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in order for everyone to know more about Deborah, can you please introduce about yourself? Who are you? What did you do before you joined our global digital business? Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, my name is Debra, and I'm living, like I said, in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and originally from the east coast of Canada, but moved from the west coast. I lived in the west coast the last 15 years prior to coming to Mexico in 2018. But I'm a child prod. I'm a mother of six, a grandmother of 17, and a soon to be a grandmother of 18,
Wow,
and a
really?
great grandmother of 5. And I'm a successful online business owner. But I haven't always been a successful online business owner. In 2015, I was laid off my position as a customer service advisor for Finning Canada, and I had been there for many years. And prior to that, I'm an accountant by trade. Okay, so once I got laid off my job, I started working, looking for work. I started looking for work. Do you hear a really noisy feedback on here?
No, from my side, I think it's okay.
Okay, maybe I'll just turn my volume down a little bit. Maybe that's what
Yeah,
it is.
maybe.
Can
Yeah.
you still hear me
Will.
well?
No problem from my side. Everything is perfect. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so anyways, I started looking for work, and I was getting interviews, and everybody was asking me, how long do you plan on staying in the workforce? Well, I had to come to the realization that nobody wants to hire anybody over the age of 60. So I thought, wow, I'm not ready to lay down, die, or, stop the life that I have. I want more out of my life. I still have a lot of things I need to do. I want to watch my grandchildren grow. I want to watch them get married and have children of their own. And, I want to be able to do what God wants me to do. So anyways, I started looking online, and I don't know if I was really looking for business or not. I think I was just looking for a way to make money. And then I came across this business, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I know this isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's going to take me some time, but I can do this. It's either no job or, try to find a minimum wage job or try to. So I thought, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I don't know how it's going to work or, how long it's going to take, but I could see it, being an accountant and doing income taxes for over 40 years, and seeing, the different businesses come and go and smaller businesses. And this was different than anything I had ever seen. and I could see the numbers. And like I said, I knew it wasn't get rich quick. So I knew it was going to take me some time. And the biggest fear I had, and I had a lot of fear when I first started, and the biggest fear I had was I didn't know how to put a picture on Facebook. And they're talking about social media, and they're saying words like Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. And I'm saying, what is that? Like, like Tic Tacs is a breath freshener, and Twitter is something you used to call somebody if they get on your nerves. They're a Twitter, right? So I thought, where's this coming from? So I thought, how am I going to do this? But I prayed a lot about it, and I knew I could do it. I just had to put my heart into it, and I had to believe in myself, and I had to believe in the system, and I had to believe in my mentors and my coaches, and I had to start to learn to live by faith and not fear. And, once I got that into my mind that, I can do this. And yeah, did I have struggles? You want to bet I had struggles. I had ups and downs like you would not believe. But I did it. I persevered. And did it happen quickly for me? No, it didn't. It took quite a while for me to make it happen. But anyways, it did happen, and it is happening. And I'm hoping that I've helped a lot of people on my journey. And I'm hoping that I can help a lot more people on my journey, right? Because I plan on living to be 120. So, that gives me another, 50 some years to be able to build this business. And another thing, what I really liked about this business was, if something should happen to me today, God forbid, it's in my will that it goes to my daughter.
Yeah.
And she can either at that point step in, sit back and enjoy the income that I have built up with this business, or she can step in and build it bigger and better than I ever did. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was something I really liked about this, because most businesses are type of, non-traditional business. Once the owner is gone, the business is gone.
Yeah, that's true. Right? Absolutely. Yeah.
We build a residual income. We can build our business that we can build a residual income so that we have money coming in every month. And that's the goal of this. And like I say, when I started, I gave myself a 5-year plan. If I can do this in 5 years to be able to support myself, because I still own a home in Canada too, right? So I have double the expenses. So I thought, if I can build this business, give me 5 years, because if I don't try, where am I going to be? I'm not going to be any further ahead than what I was when I started, right? Broke. Out of a job and broke. So I thought, I've got to do something. And, everybody said you were broke. Like, how did you survive and things? I sold things. Anything that wasn't tied down and I didn't use in the last 6 months, apparently I didn't need. And I knew I would be able to buy it bigger and better than I ever had before. And that's exactly what happened. So, it was 4 years in February since I've been an online business owner. And it's for everybody. It's for everybody. It doesn't matter your race, where you live, your age. Anybody can do this business if they want it. People's not going to come in the business, and you're not going to do it for them, and I'm not going to do it for them. But they need to have that want, because we have the best training program in the world. The best training program. And, it's really funny because, if you go to school to, even if you go to business school to learn how to become a business entrepreneur, I mean, you can go to university and learn that. You have a training program that you have to study really well before you can actually build that business. And it's really hard because ours is such an unconventional way. If people would only realize they need to do that training first. They need to do that training. They need to know what's in that training. That is our bread and butter. That is the staple of this business. And if we don't do that training, how do we expect to have a successful business? Yeah, it's like going to become a hairdresser. If you go to school to become a hairdresser and you decide, oh, I'm going to do book 1 and I'm going to do book 20. I'm not going to do the ones in between. I wouldn't want them cutting my hair. Or if a mechanic went to be a mechanic and he did the same thing. He didn't want to do the complete training first. I wouldn't want him fixing my car, right? Our
Yeah.
training is the exact same way. How do people expect to be successful if they don't do the complete training first and then go back and build it as they go, right? But they need to do that training first. That is the most important thing, right?
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. Yeah. So you
Yes.
have answered so many questions that I have prepared for you here. And I feel the energy from your inside, from your heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. This business
Yeah.
has changed my life, and I honestly believe that God brought me to this business. I honestly do. So, and I
Yeah.
honestly believe it's my mission to help as many people become successful, whether it's, you know, whether we're financially tied or not. And that's one of the things I like about this business, because everybody's willing to do that.
Yeah.
There's no competition, and it doesn't serve me any purpose, even though you're not in my
Yeah.
work
That's true.
business group. It
Yeah.
doesn't serve me any purpose for you to fail.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right?
Yeah. So
I
we have
want
an
you.
amazing community. Yeah. We all
Yes,
support each other. And
exactly.
you know, Debra, one of the mastermind recently, about 2 months ago, I remember you also share about your journey in this business. And really, it touched my heart. I really cried at that time when I listened to your story. You
Yeah,
are
I did
really a
as well.
reason in our community. And Debra, you know, today we have so many audiences, so many fans are tuning in today. Let's say hello to them, okay? You have big
Okay.
fan also. Okay, thank you, Sis Hai Dung from America. Yeah, she's also a fan of you, Debra.
Oh, well, hello.
Yeah, hello, Sis Jun. Thank you so much for your tuning in. And Sis Serena from Sydney, Brother Thượng. Okay, and Sis Hồng Bùi from my country, Vietnam. Sis Thơ. Yeah, Sis Đường say that I'm so impressive, Mrs. Debra, a wonderful woman.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, hello, Sis Min, and thank you, Sis Hạ Đoan Lê from Melbourne, Australia. Wow, so you see that
Oh,
you are
wow.
so global, right? Thank you,
Yes.
Sis, yeah, for your tuning in. Yeah, today we are so happy to see Debra here, right? Yeah, and yeah, good evening, Sis Wang from Ho Chi Minh City, right? Okay, thank you so much for your tuning in today and support me and Debra as well, because I know that many of you so admire Debra in our community. Okay,
Yes.
so how long have you been in the business, Debra?
I started actually in February 15th, 2016, or 2000. Oh my gosh.
You forget the time.
2017. February
Oh,
February 15,
2017.
2017 is when I started this
Oh,
business. I
oh,
actually seen the business at the end of 2016. And yeah, and so in February this year, it was 4 years. But I didn't become a business owner until February 2017.
oh, I see, I
Yeah.
see. So at that time, do you still remember how many people were there in our community at
There
that
was
time?
just, when I started, just about 100 people when I started this business.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
you're almost 4 years in the business, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So at that time, there's only a few hundred people. So what make you
There
believe
was
that?
there was like less than 110 people. I think I was 104 or 105 when I went.
The first 104. Wow,
Mhm.
wow. So what
Yes.
made you believe that this is a real business? Because there's so scam online business outside, right? And what made you think that you can be successful in the business?
Well, first of all, this business is still ground level. I
Yeah.
don't know if people like really understand about, you know, small businesses and things, but this business is ground level. And if people remember when the gentleman started McDonald's, and you have McDonald's. McDonald's is all over the world. The McDonald's hamburgers and French fries, and when they started McDonald's, they were told nobody would ever buy a hamburger. Nobody
Yeah.
would ever go out and buy a hamburger, right? And they had many ups and downs, you know, building their business. But that man had a dream, and he knew it wasn't going to be a get rich quick scheme. He knew it was something that he was going to have to really work at, believe in himself, believe in what he was doing, and he would be successful. And look, McDonald's is one of the most successful franchises all over the world today, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that when I saw this business, that's what I kept thinking about. That's what I kept thinking about. You know, if this man can walk from town to town, begging people to sell his hamburgers, right? You know, we're sitting in our own kitchen, our own living rooms, the comfort of our own homes, out on the beach, wherever it is that you want to sit with your laptop or your cell phone and work this business, you can do it. We have so much more advantage than what they ever had back then. And yeah, there's going to be ups and downs. And you know what? That's life. You know, we are going to have tribulation, whether it's in life or business or what it is. That is a given. That is life. And we just have to learn to live by faith and not fear, right? That is the biggest thing. Believe in yourself. Believe what you're doing. And just because you have faith doesn't mean there's going to be a magic wand come out and say, boom, it's going to happen for you. Like, I spent a lot of time doing this. I put a lot of time in because I was not tech savvy. I mean, I used to work on a computer 12 to 14 hours a day, but it was database programs, income tax programs, you know, Microsoft Word, Excel, those type of programs. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to learn anything else, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to learn anything else. I knew exactly what I was doing for my work. That's it. I didn't want to learn anything else. So I had all that to do. I didn't, like I said, I didn't know how to put a picture on Facebook. I didn't know how to, I didn't know what most of these platforms they were talking about. But you know what the good part is? I did the training.
Yeah.
I did the training before I built my business. I did the whole training and played with it and, you know, practiced. And then I went back to the beginning and started the training and built my business as I went. But I did the full training before I built my business.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to this business, is doing that training first, getting familiar with it, understanding, and then go back and do it again. Because then you're going to have questions that before, if you did it, you know, right at the same time, and you go back and you have a question, well, by the time you get down to the next section, you're going to forget it. Or with me anyways. I know some people have photographic memories, like my gal, Christina Palazzo. She has a photographic memory. She remembers everything that was in her head. But not everybody is like that, right? So, you know, I think it's so important that that's what people need to do. And I mean, we have, like I say, we got the best training program in the world. We have a patent on it so that nobody else can get it. And all different companies are trying to get our training. All different.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. The training site is also our golden sources for us to learn and study and run the business successfully. And we all
That's our
like
Big Mac sauce, right?
Yeah,
That's
the
our
same.
Big Mac sauce.
That is. We use the same, right? The same training site and make many people be successful all around the world, right? So you started the business in 2017. If I may ask you, at that time, how old was you when you started this
I was
business?
60 years old. I was 60 years old. I'm going to be 65 in September.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means you're
Everybody says you
more
have
than
6
60.
children and they're that old. They look at me, well, how old were you when you had your children? I adopted my first two boys when they were 5 and 6 years old. I was 19. I was in my second year of university.
Ah, I see. I see. Okay. So you started this business when you are already over 60, right?
Yes.
So you know that in when I run the business, there's also some of my friends or followers also ask me, reach out to me and say that I'm interested in the online world, but I'm 40, I'm 50 or something like that. I don't think that I can start this
Oh my
business.
goodness.
It's not for me. Yeah, some people say that.
I
So
have
there
people,
is also the answer to this question.
we have people in their 70s, in their late 70s doing this business and doing amazing at it.
Yeah, I know that your team, right? You have some people at 70 years old as well, right?
Well, I do a 50 plus group. So anybody over the age of 50 throughout the whole community can join my training I do on Wednesdays. And it's,
really?
it's anybody over the age of 50. There's a process to get in because we have to make sure everybody is a legit business owner. But, you know, we can find it in our private chat group, how to, you know, join the 50 plus group. And it's for anybody over the age of 50. I do one every Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see that Debra started the business, even though that she's were over 60 years old. She didn't know about Facebook, right? I remember the story you told that you didn't know how to post a
No,
photo on the Facebook, right? And you have to to ask,
that's my
reach out to your
grandson.
mentor, right? How to post a photo, right?
Yeah, my grandson. Thank God for my 11-year-old grandson at the time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Amazing. He helped me do
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. So
Yes.
you were never done anything online before. You didn't have a Facebook account. You're more than 60 to start this business, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Debra, you know that you are a living proof of anyone at
Well,
any
you know
age.
what? It's
Yeah,
true. Anybody can do this business. And for people to get discouraged, like, you know, if we're a baby, and we're babies when we start this business, because nobody ever starts at the top. Mike and Darren
yeah,
didn't start at the top. They had the same struggles we all did, right?
yeah,
Anyways, when we start this business, we're like a newborn baby. And a newborn baby, you know, they get older. They depend on their mother, which would be our training. They depend on that to survive.
yeah,
And then you start to crawl. They start to crawl. And how many times do they fall on their face, fall on their face, fall on their face? And yes, they cry. And I'm sure they get discouraged, right? But what if that baby just absolutely quit and said, that's it. I'm not ever going to learn to walk. I'm just going to crawl on my belly the rest of my life. That doesn't happen, right? We need to crawl and fall, and then we eventually stand up and fall and stand up and fall. Life is that way, right? And when I realized, you know, when I knew, I did a lot of praying before I started this business. And I knew, like, you know, I was going to have to start it as a baby. I had a big learning curve to do. And how am I going to learn? Am I going to sit there and just expect it to fall into my lap, or am I going to get hands on and get out there and get dirty and learn how to do it? And that's what I did. I made my mind up. So I not only had the business to learn, I had to learn my computer, right? I had to learn the social media platforms. I had to learn the different, you know, aspects. I had to learn how to do go lives. I didn't even know really my phone other than to send a text and take a phone call. And there's so much that we can do. We can build our whole entire business on our cell phone.
yeah.
And like
That's
it was, you know, I had a lot of struggles. I had a lot of learning to do, but I wanted to do it. So, and did I get discouraged? Yes. But you know what? It didn't stop me. It made me stronger to give me, like, you know, when I'm saying, oh my gosh, this just doesn't work for me, right? I got stronger and I thought, now you know, because I made all the mistakes. If there was any mistakes to be made, like, you know, like when Taste taught me how to put a picture on Facebook, he said, Grandma, you can do anything you want to do on a computer. You Google. Well, Google,
yeah,
what Google? And
yeah,
anyways, right? So he showed me, type in the question, how do I put a picture on Facebook? Question mark. So I did that, and I did it. If I'm not kidding you, if I did it once, I did it 100 times or more. And I'm a true example. Like, if you're doing something wrong, don't keep doing it, because how do you expect to get different results from doing the exact same thing? But I had to learn the hard way. So I kept doing it, and these things kept popping up, and I would click on it, and there was toothpaste, and there was jewelry, and there was weight loss, and there was equipment, and there was vehicles, and it was like toothpaste. I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So I called him the next day and I said to him, Tasty, honey, this just does not work for Grandma. And he said, well, what are you doing, Grandma? And I said, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm typing the question in, putting a question mark on it and entering. And he said, well, what are you seeing? And I said, some type of thing called YouTube, whatever that is. And he said, that trend. I said, no, it's not, honey. I said, They're talking about cars. They're talking about weight loss. They're talking about machines, a toothpaste, like you name it. They're talking about, he giggled. He said, oh, Grandma, down on the bottom right corner, it says skip ad. And once you skip that ad, your answer's going to be there. I said, well, you didn't tell me it was going to be YouTube. Or I thought that somebody was going to pop on and say, hi, Deborah, this is your answer. I really thought that. So, I had a real learning curve to do when it came to computers and the online world, because, working on database programs and things, you're not really in the online world. You're on your own computer. That's it.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest change. But, I did learn and I did struggle. But I had my mind made up that I was going to do this and I was going to be successful, because I was at a point in my life that nobody wanted to hire me because I was over the age of 60, because I know what I did well. I know that. I did my job well because I really enjoyed doing it. So I knew I did a good job at what I did. So that wasn't the thing that concerned me about not getting hired. People just don't want to hire old people.
Yeah.
What is that? They want the 20-year-old coming out of university that's going to give them 40 years of service, not somebody that's 60 that's either going to be done at the age of 65 when retirement age starts or dies in between, right? So anyways, I made my mind up. I started living by faith, not fear. And, I put my feet on the floor, and I still do this today. I put my feet on the floor and say, thank you, Lord, for another day. Who can I be a blessing to today? And that's how I start my day, right?
Yeah.
Because I know I'm going to come to my computer and there's something new that I'm going to have to learn again, right? And there's many times that I've gone back through our training just for my own sake, because if I'm going to be a good mentor or a good coach, I need to know that training. And some people say, well, it changes a lot. Well, that's amazing. I am so thrilled it does, because that just proves to me that we have a team of people that are on top of our social media platforms, that when thing changes out there, it changes in our training. I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's so amazing. It's amazing.
It is, right?
Yeah, Debra, I really love, you often say that, live by faith, but not fear.
Yes.
Yes, it's amazing quote. I really love it. Yeah, and sometimes in my course I use that quote as well.
Yes.
So now, if any people who are afraid of they had no online business experience, or they are afraid of they have no IT background, or even they are afraid of they are old, as they say,
they can Google.
You are the answer, the living proof for all of these concerns and all of these questions, right? Wow.
Yes.
It's so amazing, Debra. So how the business has changed your life?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I can pay my bills when they come in. That is the first thing that really is what I wanted out of this business, because it was to the point that, my bills were coming in, my savings was gone. It was like, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, how am I going to pay my bills? You can sell everything, but you need a chair to sit on, and you need, a few things in your home. So that was my biggest thing. That was my first goal, is I wanted enough money coming in that when my bills come in the mail, I could pay it. I didn't want to have to say, oh no, I'll only pay this on this bill, and I'll pay some on this one, and I'll pay some on that one. Like, you never get ahead. You just go behind. But paying a little bit here and a little bit there on this, paying a little bit on everything, and talking to them, and I know I kept saying, I'm working on a business, it is starting to happen, but it's slow, and things are picking up, and I can pay this much this month. I don't know. I'll have to reevaluate next month. That was the hardest thing I had to do, I think, was talk to real people and, try to convince them that, I am going to eventually have the money to pay you, right?
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing, was to get the money, having the money that I could afford to pay my bills. And then it was like, wow, now I can pay some bills off. And wow, now I can start living my dream, right?
Yeah.
And my dream was to live in Mexico. I don't know why Mexico. Well, I do. I love the country. I love the people. I love everything about Mexico. And it was my favorite place to go. And today, you know, I've been here since 2018. I am a resident of Mexico now. And it's amazing that I can travel both back and forth to both countries. Unfortunately, COVID has put a dampers to that because Canada has such a restriction on traveling back and forth right now. So I thought, where do I want to be? Do I want to be in Alberta in the minus 50 degree cold weather in the winter? Or do I want to be where it's plus 25 to plus 30? I said, I think I'll take the plus 25 to 30, right? So, you know, it's a choice you make, but I can't wait. Now my children can come and visit and my friends can start coming to visit, and I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, from your story, I also remember you remember that you once you already shared about your story that when you started the business, you want to have some money to invest in the business, but you at that time you didn't have enough money, so you have to sell your furniture, right? And even during running the business, you got one time bankrupt, if I still remember, right? So even you have to go out and pick up the throwaway
an advertising budget. I picked up bottles
and carton to sell to make money, right? Wow, it's so touching story.
Yeah, they're saying, "What are you doing, Mom?" I said, "I'm cleaning up the environment and I'm picking up cans and bottles because I can recycle them and get money out of them. Like, you know, I'm helping the environment here." And they're saying, "Oh, Mom, please don't do that. We'll lend you money." No, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do this. I worked for what I had. And you know what? I sold a treadmill in my house and nobody even knew it was gone for 6 months because only anybody ever hung coats on it. Like they never even used it, right? So, you know, I sold things like that. I made it happen. I did what I had to do to make it happen. And that's what I did. I made it happen. And you know, and I took what little bit of investment I had left, and I took that, and you know, I just did what I had to do because I knew that this business was going to work. And I mean, I went through chemo, radiation. You know, when I first started this business, I'm going the big C hit, and I'm going through all these trials, but I never missed a webinar, and I never missed a training session. It didn't matter if I was in the hospital or if I was at home, or how sick I was. I never missed one because this was going to be my future. And I knew in my heart that I could not miss any of those things. That is so important. I wanted to be successful, so I was going to watch those, and I was going to participate, whatever it was I had to do to be successful. Because I really believe, you know, if you're going into a business, you need to do it 110%, not just 100%. And 50%, people can't expect to come in and put in 20% or 50% and expect it to happen as quick as it happened for those that are putting in 110%. Like, you know, you got to be realistic with your own actions, and only you can make a change. It was like me typing in that question and expecting a different answer. Right? If I had to come to the realization, if I'm doing something and it's not working, there's something wrong. I need to examine what I'm doing. Is it a word? Is it like whatever? You need to find out what you're doing wrong, because there's no sense of trying to do the exact same thing again. It didn't work, right? So now you need to re-examine that and find out what is wrong with it and try something different. Right? And that's what we call testing in our business. You know, you try things, it doesn't work. You try something different, it doesn't work. You try something different. Wow, boom, it works. There, now you know what you did wrong. And now you
keep trying, right?
Not to do the same mistakes you did. And that's one of the things about this business that I love. And that's what I want to share with people. Don't make the mistakes I made. You know, really find your own brand in life, because each and every one of us are different. We're an affiliate marketing business. We want people that are just like us, right? You want someone just like you so that you can relate to and work with, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So if anyone tuning in now and listen to Debra's story, so you see that if someone's still complaining about their life, that maybe they don't have money to invest, maybe they cannot start up at the age or something else, yeah, just listen to Debra's story and you know the answer, exactly the answer for all the question and all the concern, right? Yeah, we have some more friends who join out today. Thank you, Sis Me from Canada. Yeah. Sis
Hi.
Nga, thank you so much for your tuning in. Thank you, Sis Học, Sis Nga from Hanoi. And thank you, Suzianto. Yeah, he's from Perth, Australia. Thank you so much for your tuning in. Thank you, Sis Van Lam. Yeah, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really love and admire Debra's story. It's really awesome and amazing. And Debra now is very, 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 very successful in our community that we all admire and want to learn and hear from your story, right? So, can you give some tips that can help you be successful as you are now?
Just be dedicated, believe in yourself, I believe in God. You can believe with whatever you believe, right? I believe in God, but we need something other ourselves to believe in. And I believe that I have to let God guide me when I do. And I believe that if we help others, it will help us, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So, I had to get the me out of the vocabulary. And I had to get you and your into it. I want to help you. I want to help your family. I want to, help your business. And the thing of it is, like, learn from my mistakes. Don't do what I did, right? I'm going to pave the way for other people. And that's the same. You're going to pave the way for your group, right? So you can say, oh, I did this. It didn't work. So, don't try that. You can try it, but it probably won't work for you because it didn't work for Deborah. It didn't work for them. It just doesn't work. Try it. So, and that's the biggest thing, is to try to get that I out of your vocabulary. Because now, I used to wake up in the morning and I used to run to my computer to see if I had a new business partner.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's amazing.
And I thought, well, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing, because that's me, I, and I'm only thinking of myself doing that, right?
Mhm.
So now when I get up in the morning, I put my feet on the floor and I say, thank you, Lord, for another day.
Yeah.
Who can I be a blessing to today? And you know what? If I get a new buyer, I'm going to get an email that's going to tell me. I don't need to run and look at that, because that is putting the selfishness back into me. So I don't do that. I wait for that email to come, right? Because even if people in my group get a buyer, I get that email. So I'm
Yeah.
notified. And then I can deal with it at that time. But until then, I don't want to go and look at that, because it's putting I think what it does is it puts discouragement into our hearts, because we go there and if we don't see our name and we see other people, it's like, why are they getting in? I'm not. Like, it puts discouragement into our hearts. We don't need that. We don't need to see that. What we need is, we need to be able to build our business on our lives, not on what everybody else is doing, because you can't compare yourself to other people. That's a big mistake if you compare yourself to other people. It's a huge mistake, because we're all different. Every one of us are different. We have different likes. We have different dislikes. We have, different ways of talking. We have different things that we like to eat. We have different times that we like to go to bed. Whoops, sorry. We have different times of, sorry, my dogs. Coco Cooper, stop. Raining.
Maybe someone want to visit you today.
Yeah, I do. I have people coming this morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we should end our interview soon, so I can let you go with your friend. Yeah. So today I learned a lot from you, because this day I also, in the morning, I just jumped to my computer on my smartphone to check, how if I have some bio or something like this. Wow.
Yeah.
So I should change. I switch my
Don't
set.
do it. And it's going to be hard. Believe me, it's hard, because you got to
see other people, right?
But you're going to get an email when you get a buyer. You will get an email, and we all check our emails certain times during the day, right? I don't go to my email and go through to see if I have a buyer either. I just, on my times that I check my email, I do it. I just go on with my regular. I tie in really tight to our chat groups because that's one of the things, like, as a coach, we get all our information brought down through our chat groups, and it's something we need to do. We need to keep on top of our groups asking questions if we can answer. And like I like to teach my group, if somebody asks a question, don't wait for me to answer it. If you know the answer it. Help that person. Excuse me.
Yeah, very supportive. Yeah, very supportive community.
Yes.
I love it a lot. Yeah. So I learned a lot from Debra today that we should trust in ourselves. Don't compare to other people. Keep learning and learn from other people's mistakes. Wow, so many great lessons today. Okay, so let's come to the last question before we can end up our interview. So do you have any advice for people who are interested in the digital business, but they have a lot of concern? Like I just told you, like maybe I'm too old, I don't have experience, I'm nothing with IT. Do you have any advice for this people?
We can do anything that our heart desires. It doesn't matter how old you are. We all have dreams, and our dreams are different because we're different people. But if you want to do something, you just look forward. You put those blinders on, but you don't need to look at this way, because you know what? When you start having major struggles in your life, something good is coming your way. Because anytime something really good is going to happen to us, there's always a roadblock thrown in front of us. Yeah. We just have to learn how to go across those roadblocks, around those roadblocks. However, if it becomes a mountain, we learn how to climb the mountain, right? Anything you put your heart to, it doesn't matter what, I don't know what age has to do with it. A lot of people say, I can't do it because I'm too old. Well, why are you too old? Why do you feel you're too old, right? Yeah. Like, why do you feel you're too old? Because
yes. Yeah, so we should no problem, we should end our interview, so I can let you go to your guest.
Okay, thank you so much.
So once again, Debra, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate, and again, so grateful to have you on my page today and sharing a lot of information and inspire our group also.
Yes.
So I wish Debra always healthy, energetic, and more successful in the business, and God bless you. Thank you so much, Debra, and thank you everyone for tuning in or watch our replay later on. Okay, thank you, and bye, Debra. See you later.
Thank you, God bless. Thank you for inviting me on here today. Thank you. And take care. God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.